Welcome to the E-Cafe. I am Elizabeth and I'm here with the posse today with the energy message for the upcoming week of May 10th. We're encouraging you to get back to basics, to get back to those things that work. At least that's what they're encouraging me to do, to get back and do those things that you know work. They're small things, but they truly do work. And on this channel, we remember that everything is energy, and our goal is to help you become co-creators with the universe by learning to master your own energy. We need leaders, but we can't lead anybody else until we can lead ourselves. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to begin to build those spiritual muscles, to begin to take responsibility for that occurs to you. I know a lot of times I hear this word manifest. I'll teach you within 30 days or instant manifestation. First off, what you think and feel is what you create. What you see is what you created. Now, I know that this is a big thing because people say, oh, no, not me. I didn't create this. Consciously or unconsciously, you wrote the story. And so once you get over being mad, you laugh about it because you realize if what I thought and what I felt brought this fantastic results, just think about what I can create if I become conscious of what I'm thinking. They say that over 80% of the thoughts that we have are negative. And I mean, it's easy to believe that if you look at the media, if you look at what's on the news, it's very easy to see why people tend to think negatively. And then they wonder why those negative things occur to them. So what I'm saying is when you take responsibility for the thoughts that you have, the words that you say, you can begin to really create the world that you want. I believe that we can have anything that we want to, as long as we are willing to work for it. And the first part of working for it is in our belief system. What do we believe? Because that will show up in our lives. I remember when my son was, I would say 5, 6, he still believed in Santa Claus. And it was around the holiday season, and the church that we were attending was having a skating party. Now, he was involved with the younger kids, and I was involved with the older kids. So, before I tell the story of the skating rink and what happened, my son had gotten I had gotten my son a little Mickey Mouse watch. He loved this watch. Well, he broke it. And he wanted another one. And I told him, I said, when you're older, when you're more responsible, then we'll think about getting you another watch. Well, my son, being my son, he said, well, wait a minute. I'm going to tell Santa Claus to bring me a watch. Now, as a parent and a single parent, I knew that I was Santa, and I didn't want my child to be disappointed about not receiving this watch. And so, again, I tried to emphasize that Santa talked to parents before they brought the gifts, and that I did not, and I would be sharing with Santa that I did not feel that he was old enough to be responsible for that watch. But that did not deter my son. So anyway, we're at the skating rink. He's in the small rink. I'm in the larger rink with the older kids. And after the end of the session, we came together and he came running to me, holding up his hand up. He had his Mickey Mouse watch. They had played games, and as they won different prizes, they picked from a bag of wrapped gifts. Of wrapped gifts. He picked this Mickey Mouse watch. And what it taught me is if we can become like little kids and not get in the way, to believe that it's possible, to clear the thoughts that, oh, he's not going to get a watch, he's too young, he's too old, you can't do this, all of the different words that are in our head. Check out last week's video. I talked about those inner bullies that we have that talk us out of things. We want to become like little children and believe. Another thing, when you get back to basics, you set up time for yourself. You begin to truly love yourself. I remember I had a client, and she was just overwhelmed, tired, and somewhat depressed. She was a mother of two young children. She was married. She was running her own business. And she said she came to me because she wanted help with how to get over this overwhelm. She said that there's just got to be a way. Well, when I had her describe her day, she woke up at 6 in the morning, fixing coffee for herself and her husband. She got her husband off to work. Then it was breakfast for the kids, and get them dressed for school, to drop them off at school. And she said by the time she got home and threw in some clothes in the laundry, she was just totally exhausted. And she was finding it very hard to focus in on what she needed to do to keep her business running. So when we talked about it, and I asked her, well, what would it take? And we came up with Maybe, she said, if I woke up early. So what she did was she dedicated a half an hour. She got up early, a half an hour earlier in the morning, and that was her me time. That was her time to pull out her journal. And that's one of those things that are on the basic list. She took out her journal and just wrote 3 pages. The 3 pages were to dump anything that she didn't want for the day and to set her day with a focus word. Check out the 60-second reset. It'll explain more about the 60-second reset. I'll link it in the bio. But she found that by setting that half an hour in the morning to get centered, to get focused, it allowed her to move so much smoother. It affected her and her family in such a way that her husband also adopted the practice. So setting time each morning to start your day focus, to take responsibility for saying today's gonna be a good day. I think that that's it. That's all that we need to share. Make sure that you, if you, in the comments, leave a note. Let me know. If you have any questions, any concerns, put it down in the comments. Let me know what you're willing to do to get what you want. May light, love, and laughter accompany you on your path. I am Elizabeth. May you have a blessed one.